Taking the track on this night are the Monsters of Destruction. And here in the Southern Illinois Center, the MOD machines are met with a service that can be kind to some and cruel to others. While getting to the winner's circle is the end goal, the first is getting the trucks to break loose. Welcome once again to the Southern Illinois Center in DuQuoin, Illinois, as the Monsters of Destruction get set for this 6-truck Chicago-style shootout right here inside the Southern Illinois Center on the DuQuoin State Fair Complex. And we're going to open things up with monster truck qualifying. You saw the Warp Motorsports crew on their way back to the pits. There you see Team Throttle Monster, and of course the home state hero Brad Shippert in Against the Grain. We'll be seeing him momentarily. Right now, though, as I said, we're going to get things underway with monster truck qualifying. There you see Joe Urey at the wheel of the Utah-based Kamikaze. Joe, one of the heavier trucks in competition here today out of the state of Missouri, though the truck out of Utah, part of the Team Throttle Monster camp, will start us off in qualifying. Single truck. Solid through the first turn into the final turn. Track looks a little bit stickier than it was yesterday as he'll set the pace for the rest of the field behind him. 16.723 seconds elapsed time. Not bad, but slower than he was in yesterday's qualifying. He ran a 15.90 yesterday. Now as Corey Snyder, last night's racing winner out of Baltimore, Maryland, rolls out in the TMS Signature Series Chassis Illuminator. Tremendous start. You can see the ramps. If you watched last night's coverage, the ramps are a little steeper tonight, it looks like. And again, the track looking a little bit stickier. Not as much fluff coming off the top of that thing. A 15.581 second elapsed time to put him into the #1 spot. So he is pretty consistent. Ran a 15.83 last night. As our next competitor comes into stage, the home state hero Brad Shippert out of Dixon, Illinois, and Against the Grain, representing RC Fest out of Tuscola, Illinois, as always. Get behind a good cause there, reminding you to donate blood as Brad wraps up his qualifying effort. Hopping a little bit right there. Again, the ramps are a bit steeper on this night as they trimmed them for freestyle last night and rebuilt the course. At the end of the show, 17.624 will drop him to the 3rd spot. Now, Dan Donnelly out of Scotch Plains, New Jersey. Toxic. Taken to the first turn. Jumping to the inside there, trying to make a quicker turn in, and that caused him problems. He's way too far to the inside of that jump, and it's going to cost him big time. He's going to pick up a penalty on the run. We'll see what the final time is. 24.577, unfortunately, for Daniel Donnelly. That's with a penalty. Now as Rod Schmidt, former grave digger and monster mutt driver, comes out of Charles City, Iowa, the Monster Chassis Redneck Rampage. Big leap across the finish line. He looks a bit conservative going around the turns, but he's actually moving quite fast, and he proved that last night when he bettered Illuminator's time in this qualifying session. A 16.151 second run will not do it, though. Corey Snyder and Illuminator still sitting atop the field with 1 to go. Tim Hall Jr. out of Cadillac, Michigan, driving the Utah-based Jurassic Attack, part of the Team Throttle Monster camp of monster trucks. aggressive through the corners. I think running late in the pack may have done him a big favor. Of 15.558 to take the number one spot. So for the second night in a row, your number one qualifier is Tim Hall Jr. in Jurassic Attack. So that will set our field for round one of Chicago-style monster truck racing. And I'll be coming at you momentarily, plus a full field of Pro Tough Trucks. Stay with us. More to come from DuQuoin, Illinois.
This presentation is brought to you by Monsters Monthly, your place for photos, videos, event info, and all the happenings in the monster truck industry. Visit monstersmonthly.com. And by Crush This. For a weekly look inside the wide world of monster trucks, check out Crush This, a monster truck podcast. Available on Facebook, Spotify, and YouTube. This program is brought to you by RPM Army. For a wide array of content from across the motorsports world, visit rpmarmy.com. Your high-performance fix on the go.
Welcome back to the Southern Illinois Center in DuQuoin as we get ready for round one of Chicago-style monster truck racing. Before we get into that, we're going to take you through highlights of our two-wheel skills competition, and the man who started off last night in fine fashion starts it off tonight again very impressively. Joe Uri and Kamikaze with the two-wheel skills in hand, doing a nice job stopping into a moonwalk, backing up over the pod, went for a second one. And again, these new-gen drivers that you're seeing are just showing so much control of these trucks, but doesn't carry over into racing because that's where guys like Rod Schmidt, guys like Brad Shippert are really showing their wares. But take nothing away from Brad Shippert as he has been stepping his program up leaps and bounds. However, he is dealing with a continuous suspension issue for the last few weeks, trying to get it ironed out. But you saw that hard bounce he took in that wheelie. He went over the center pod as Tim Hall Jr. rolled out in Jurassic Attack to challenge his teammate Joe Uri, and you can see very, very impressive at the wheel of the big Triceratops out of the state of Utah, and that would be enough for Tim Hall Jr. to take the victory in the two-wheel skills competition. So just like last night, he starts off his weekend, or starts off Saturday night, I should say, with the fast qualifying time and 1 for 3 in determined competitions. Here is a look at the bracket going into round one of racing. Teammates Illuminator and Toxic, Corey Snyder and Daniel Donnelly will take each other on in the first round. It'll be Jurassic Attack going up against Brad Shippert and against the Grain, and then Kamikaze versus the legend of monster trucks, Rod Schmidt, Redneck Rampage. So we come back to live action. There you see Dan Dodd rolling out of the state of New Jersey, driving the big Ford out of Moco, the state of Maryland there. A pair of old liners on the line, and the second generation driver, his teammate across the track from him, Corey Snyder in the Illuminator, who has victory here. Last night he has victories from last year, same truck. He loves this track. He says you can really break it loose, and it looked like the track was really coming around in the corners. After qualifying, the tack started to go away as they scrubbed the top off. It's getting a bit fluffier. We'll see if it will hold the horsepower as we go green. Donnelly looking solid for the first turn, but he's got about a truck length to make up. Snyder pouring it on at the end. Donnelly started to come back on him, but missed the ramp again, it looked like, as he jumped into the Pro Tough Trucks course. We'll get another look at it here from the corner, and you'll see. Watch Donnelly coming around the final turn. This right here, Snyder barely touched the rear steering, if at all, just skating right around these corners, setting the truck and just letting the back end come around. Had to work a little harder in that final corner, but he made it look very, very easy as he put a solid top-end charge on this track. And again, you can see a lot more hang time here tonight, and that might spell trouble for this guy, Brad Shippert, from right here in the state of Illinois. He's a few hours from home, but loves coming out and showing off in front of the home state folks. Again, dealing with a truck where the suspension is not quite right for him. You saw it bouncing around a little bit earlier. Now in a race situation, we'll see how he handles the man who is qualified number 1 as of right now. He's the fastest on this track, that being Tim Hall Jr. in Jurassic Attack. Shippert with the lighter of these two trucks right now could have an advantage, but he's behind. Not overdriving the course, though. We'll see if he gets back in as the fast loser if he doesn't win here. And a big leap across the finish line. He had some problems on that run. Shippert running hard as he is, he's going to park it and wait to find out if he's going to come back as the fast loser. He had fallen behind so early. Tim Hall just so quick on this track right here, as you see him just barely tapping that tough block at the bottom. Watch now Shippert, though, when he goes over the finish line, a big nosedive. The back end is still not right. That was a hard hit for Shippert on the right front. Had to be a hard lick in the cab as Joe Uri now heads out. Another one of the new generation drivers in monster trucks. This guy's driven many different vehicles in relatively short career. He's not a newcomer by any stretch of the imagination, but he goes up against a wily veteran. Keep calling him the legend. That being Rod Schmidt in Redneck Rampage. Started out his driving career behind the wheel of what was Steve Hess's nightmare coilover truck built by Jerry Richmond. Ran it as Overkill, Deep Fear, Temporarily Insane. Drove Monster Patrol for a while. Got behind the wheel of a Gravedigger truck. Monster Mutt, now at the wheel of his own Redneck Rampage. See if he can take the youngster to school. Joe Uri way out front right now. Schmidt did not look like he was totally in that one. I'm not sure if he was having a mechanical problem or not. He had steering issues in Madison, Wisconsin. Hopefully that's not coming back on him. But Joe Uri is going to go on into the next round as we find out our fast loser will be Redneck Rampage. So they're going to come right back at it. So Rod Schmidt will get a second shot at the Missouri driver in the Ford Raptor out of the state of Utah. Of course, Illuminator taking on Jurassic Attack. The Warp Motorsports guys and the Team Throttle Monster guys have a little score to settle from yesterday as we move on into Pro Tough Trucks. First truck out on the track, little Jeep Cherokee. Gage Robinson out of Springfield, Illinois. A little XJ. Give you an idea of the kind of track we're looking at right now. Kind of quiet little machine. We're waiting for him to take off. He's going to go through this whoop section first. We'll come around this corner. There is a little kicker ramp in this corner. You can't really dirt track through there. You'll end up on your lid. Now he'll thread back around, up and over the monster truck course. And this track has definitely got more hang time in it. The tough trucks were going to be the big indicator there, as we only had 2 guys in the building last night in the tough trucks class because of a snowstorm that kept these guys on the other side of Kansas City. Now working their way through a full field here tonight. He'll set the pace at 40.808 seconds elapsed time as our next piece of equipment rolls out. See how long this one lasts. Ian Mudstock. You got a Taylorville, Illinois, and the little Dakota. See how well he's able to do. These pickups are always wild to watch. He's already plowing up the track as he comes through the whoop section. Hammering the front end of that thing. See how long that radiator hangs in there, because you start beating that bumper up into the chassis. Well, it's not going to matter now. He went the wrong way. Trailing a bed full of snow and ice-cold metal parts. He doesn't care. He's having a good time here tonight in front of the crowd. As long as he gets some hang time, he'll be happy. Still hasn't gone over the tabletop on the Raceland on the far side, so he's going to post a time. I believe there's going to be a penalty put on him, though, at a 38.711. Stay with us. We got more Pro Tough Truck action coming at you when we come back to DuQuoin, Illinois. Inside the Southern Illinois Center, Pro Tough Trucks action continues. The little red S10 Blazer rolling out to stage. That will be Alex O'Donohue out of Lincoln, Illinois. Ready to take his shot. Well, I'm a big fan of these little S10 Blazers. We've seen them run in tough truck stock classes over the years. They're bouncy, they're wild, but they're also quick. Very unpredictable kind of vehicle to take over jumps. And right now, he is shooting for a, looks like a 40.80 second elapsed time that Gage Robinson posted first in the session. Actually, no, it's Ian Munstock that ran a 38.711 second run in the Little Dakota. That's as of right now. Remember, though, he did not run the track correctly, so he may actually get knocked out of that #1 spot. We'll wait and see, but a good run for O'Donohue. 40.718 second elapsed time now. Zane Hergenrother out of Auburn, Illinois. A little S10 pickup now. Another that I think is going to get real wild real quick. You see him plowing up the last whoop, bouncing his way through the corners. Got the donuts on the rear end to help him dig a little bit. Well, he goes the wrong way too. Rounding the penultimate turn. Let's see how he does on the tabletop. Hammering the front end of this truck, but it's taking everything he's throwing at it right now. On and off the brakes quite a bit. Now, he did make up for missing the tabletop the first time. 40.345 for Zane. Our next machine coming out will be... well, the next one coming out is going to be a little XJ. I thought it was going to be J.C. McClellan, but it looks like he's going to come up last in this class. The teammate to that vehicle right there as the kids playing with the little 164 die-cast trucks out there on the concrete. The action on the dirt, though. Andrew Hagan out of Springfield, Illinois. A little black XJ. These are great tough trucks. Anytime we see these little XJs, they will take a beating. They're quick, they're agile. See him losing a little snow off the hood right there. It is snowing outside. Not blizzard conditions like it has been in the past here, but there were those conditions last night. Fortunately, that storm blew off, but there's still some flurries out there. And remember, these guys had to come across the interstate all packed up in snow as he finishes his shot around the course. Let's see what he runs. 32.371 seconds. He was ultra quick. That'll put him right into the #1 spot. And here comes J.C. McClellan in that massive heavyweight Chevy Suburban. Let's see if this thing will hang in there. Should be a pretty tough truck, but I'm interested to see how it handles the tabletops. Hard, well, he's never going to get there. Into the wall. just collapsed the front suspension. He's still trying to back it up and get out of there, but yeah, he's not going anywhere. McClellan's night will come to a premature end, unfortunately, as again collapsed the front suspension of that thing. Andy Miller on the way out to drag him off the court. Listen to him still hammering the throttle, trying to get out of that corner. Not going to happen. Not surprised that thing broke. I hate to say that. This is a pretty tough truck, but as big as these obstacles are here tonight, I'm not surprised. I thought he was going to lose it on the tabletops. I did not think that little kicker was going to be his demise, but he went in there with the pre-steer, and it looks like when he came down on the outside, the inside, the back of the right front tire, it pulled the front suspension apart, and the left front broke loose, and that was the end of that. Now we're going to bring the modifieds out, so that will conclude session 1 of the stock class. Now as 3 mods will come out and run the track. Mike Mozzie out of Brazito, Missouri. Talk about a guy who will test the limits of his front suspension. Awesome little truck, not afraid to fly high, and definitely an indicator that these ramps are a lot steeper tonight. The dual rear tire is digging in. He flies around the track. 27.255 seconds to set the pace for the modified class with 2 heavy hitters behind him. Their next competitor roll out of the tunnel. There you see him, Cody Coulter. This little black Ford called Stryker. Out of Jefferson City, Missouri. Here's a guy who can definitely fly high right with Mike Mozzie and Mozzified. See Jason Bono out last with his longer, heavier bullnose Ford. Definitely a lot of horsepower in that thing as these 2 little buzzsaws make their way around the track. Coulter, beautiful leap there over the first tabletop. He downsides it nearly perfectly. Let's see how he handles this one. Little case, but nothing too bad. Final turn. Oh, there goes the right front. He just peeled it off the rim. Had a great run going, but unfortunately that's going to slow him down a 32.004 second elapsed time for Cody Coulter, as he's going to go back there and get that front tire put back on the rim. He'll be back for session 2, no worries. He'll probably fly a little harder there as Jason Bono out of Pierce City, Missouri. Now, you ever get a chance to meet this guy, you got to sit and talk with him a while. Real good guy and an awesome tough truck driver at that. Although he has got a problem for sure. He just dumped a drive shaft out on the track. Hammering on that thing right now. He only has front-wheel drive. He is literally dragging this big orange Ford around the track by the front tire. You saw the drive shaft just off to the right of your screen. Putting the power to it. Plenty of horses to pull him around at 28.562 to take the number 2 spot. But Mike Mozzie is going to sit at the top of the field for the moment. And there you see the drive shaft, lay it out center field. Andy Miller going to go pick that thing up, take it back to Jason. Maybe they'll get it back in before the second session. We'll wait and see. Here's the standings right now in our stock tough truck class. It's Andrew Hagan on top, followed by Ian Munstock. Again, for the moment, they have not determined whether or not they're going to penalize for missing those ramps. Zane Hergenrother, Alex O'Donohue, Gage Robinson, rounding out the field, of course, J.C. McClellan, who ended up in the wall with the big Chevy Suburban. Not going to get a time, but the word is he may jump into Zane Hergenrother's truck, so we may see J.C. McClellan back yet. Keep it here for more action coming your way in just a moment from DuQuoin, Illinois with the Monsters of Destruction.
Hey, welcome to Wild Man Adventures. First the Silver Lake Sand Dragway. There really wasn't any off-roading back then. It was all off-road. We're on our way to Lima, Ohio. Got wooden wheels.
Oh, it's slippery as all get out.
Hey, we're here with Rich Cummins. Hey, we're here with Mike Potter. Hey, we're here with Alan Pizzo. Gotta check it out. This week we're gonna go down memory lane.
Welcome back to the Southern Illinois Center for more Monsters of Destruction here in DuQuoin on the DuQuoin State Fairgrounds Complex. Big, expansive property here. Lots to see throughout the entire calendar, and of course inside this building every year. Lots of auto racing going on in here, and once a winter we bring the Monsters of Destruction inside for a little action on this indoor dirt track. As the first pairing here in the semifinals will feature that man right there out of Montgomery County, Maryland. That is Corey Snyder in the Illuminator taking on Tim Hall Jr. in Jurassic Attack. Tim out of the state of Michigan, driving a big Triceratops-bodied machine out of Utah. Team Throttle Monster on the side nearest us against Warped Motorsports out of Maryland. This should be a good matchup. Two heavyweight machines up in the 13,000-pound range. Let's see what they can do. Snyder, your winner in racing last night. Tim Hall Jr. would love to take it away from him. They're right there together, both of them on the throttle hard. Who won it? They were so close at the finish line. Snyder, last night's race winner, heading back to the pits, waiting to find out if he won that. There you hear it from the track announcer. Jurassic Attack will pick up that victory and knock off the night one race winner, Corey Snyder in Illuminator. One more look at it. Watch how close these guys were. Snyder got into that first turn so quick. He actually had about a tire length lead going into the second jump, but when they came around the final turn, Hall had closed the distance and won that one by 1/1000th of a second at the finish line. A very close margin of victory now as Rod Schmidt rolls out Redneck Rampage to do battle with the other half of the Throttle Monster camp here this weekend, that being Joe Urey. There you see Kamikaze rolling up, touching that first jump, making sure he's straight on it before he comes to the starting line here. Urey, I mentioned before, has lots of driving experience in what really is a short career. Another guy who's driven a fair amount of equipment. Right now, though, the weight advantage has to go the way of Rod Schmidt. A lot lighter truck between the two, but Joe Urey has been so fast here this weekend. A lower center of gravity machine means he can really risk whipping it around without having to worry about high siding. We'll see if that even comes into play here, because the track really seems like it's coming around as we get ready to go green here in the semi. Tight to the inside is Schmidt. Schmidt with a big lead going to the final turn. But he has problems getting there. He's going to go off track. Joe Urey going to pick up that victory. It's going to be an all-team Throttle Monster final round. Kamikaze and Jurassic Attack go toe-to-toe, or nose-to-nose, I guess you could call it, in the championship race. That'll be coming up in just a moment. The fans absolutely loving the action here tonight. The Illini crowd watching some of the best of the Monsters of Destruction. There you see how they got there. Jurassic Attack knocking off against the grain. Illuminator, and now battling with Kamikaze. Kamikaze got knocked out Redneck Rampage in the first round, then had to rematch with him there in the semifinals. And now back on the line, Joe Urey and Tim Hall Jr., teammates, good friends here, going at it. Two very evenly matched vehicles. Heavyweight trucks, but again, the low center of gravity proven out here tonight. Can really get down there and dig in this nice loamy soil that they have here. The track has really come around. Let's see how quick they are. Good launch for Urey. Really steaming through the first turn. A little lead for Kamikaze. Can he hang on to it? He does. Joe Urey picking up a win in Kamikaze. Knocking off his teammate Tim Hall Jr. in Jurassic Attack. Urey looking super smooth tonight here in DuQuoin. Working hard for that victory. This was not an easy field to get through. Had to face Rod Schmidt twice, and Rod, you know, it kind of gave one up in the semifinal round, but the first round victory, he had to work for that one, and Yuri never let up. You can see how quick he was there. Now, we're getting word there's a problem on Jurassic Attack. We will keep you updated on that as we go back to Pro Tough Trucks. First out on the track will be Gage Robinson. The little white and gray XJ ran a 40.808 second elapsed time in the first round. They are all aiming at Andrew Hagen's 32.371 second run right now that he posted in the first round. It's not going to be easy to get to the number one spot in this field. He launches it hard. Nice. Landed on the downside of the race lane. Headed into the penultimate turn. A lot of hang time there as he cases that jump. See some parts coming out from underneath of it. He has got a problem. There he goes. Kind of spanked the rear end when he came off of that second to last jump there on that last tabletop. 43.344. So he's not going to better his own time. He lost the drive shaft out of that thing is what the problem was, it looks like there. And it sounded like it lost power as Ian Munstock coming back out now in the little red Dakota. Ran a 38.71 second run in the first round. Let's see how he does here. He's got a ratchet strap holding the hood closed. Or maybe it's holding the door closed. I don't know. It looks like it's holding the hood closed. Again, going the wrong way. Now he's got another problem. Something just let go in that truck, and he's going to park it over there by the monster trucks, and we're going to move on to Alex O'Donoghue. Also has the hood ratchet strapped shut, but that doesn't matter. As long as it stays down, he's in good shape. He doesn't really need to get in there. If this truck comes to a stop, that's the end of it for him anyway. Ran a 40.718 second run in the first round. Again, they're all shooting at a 32.371. Going hard here in this round. That was a beautiful jump. The door coming open, holding it shut with his left arm. That actually could hurt his time because now he's got to hold on to that steering wheel with his right hand as hard as he can. Final jump, what's he got? Banging on 38.162 second elapsed time for Alex O'Donoghue. So Andrew Hagen hangs on in the number one spot for the moment. And again, look at the beautiful jump he made over the first tabletop. And it's soaking up everything he's throwing at it. Bone stock little S10 Blazer. And it's still rolling around here now. Zane Hergenrother ran a 40.34 second run in the first round. He's still plowing up the whoops. Now this truck is going to get a new life here in the second round if it stays underneath of him, because it's going to run twice here. J.C. McClelland, who had the big Suburban in round one, obviously that machine's not coming back, so he's going to get a shot inside of his teammates' little S10. That is if Zane doesn't kill the truck first. He's running hard, though. Big hits up and over the tabletop as he belly flops. Getting onto the downside, final jump. What's he run? 37.721 seconds elapsed time, so no one has yet gotten ahead of this man, Andrew Hagen, who again ran a 32.371 second run in the first round. He was so quick. Got that rhythm down. He's looking fast again. Let's see if he can cement himself in there a little more, because remember, J.C. McClelland going to jump in the S10. We'll see if he's any quicker in this upcoming round. There's a problem under there. You see sparks coming out from underneath of Hagen's machine, and that's going to be the end of him for the night. He's going to roll on back to the pit area, very kindly too. Didn't try to continue on. Knew the truck was not going to really make it out of the building under its own power, so he's going to park it back there in the barn. And J.C. McClelland is going to roll onto the starting line in his buddy Zane's S10, still shooting at Hagen's 32.371. So in spite of Hagen getting a DNF on that pass, he's still pretty firmly in the number one spot as J.C. McClelland tries to knock him down. running hard. Remember, they've got to get through a Sunday afternoon of action coming up tomorrow as well, so they want something to be around. What a launch! McClellan hitting it hard, and he's got a problem now. The little S10 ailing as it heads toward the finish line. Trying to get it refired. Don't know if he jarred something loose. It could have been an electrical issue, and battery cables take a beating when you run them like that, but he will cross the finish line 50.805 second elapsed time. Obviously not going to get to the number one spot. Andrew Hagan going to hang on for the victory in our stock class at a 32.371 second elapsed time. Now the man leading the modified field, Mike Mozzie, out of Brazito, Missouri, in Modified, ran a 27.255 second run in the first round. Let's see if he can better that time here and again cement himself at the top of the field. Big hang time for the little love out of Missouri. Fan favorite from the Show Me State, showing him how it's done. Final turn, hard, beautiful corner. He's consistent if he's anything, 27.558, so he's not going to better his own time, but he stays in that 27-second range. Again, ran a 27.255 second run in the first round, and look at the hang time for Mike Mozzie, but look how soft that truck lands as Stryker rolls to the line. Cody Coulter out of Jefferson City, Missouri. Through the first thread. Let's see how he gets through the final thread. Again, very, very smooth over the tabletops. Cleared that one, lands all the way at the bottom of the exit ramp. He'll cross the finish line. It'll be a 27.952 second elapsed time, so Mike Mozzie hangs on at the top. Our final competitor in Pro Tough Trucks, Jason Bono, out of Pierce City, Missouri. Front-wheel drive only. They did not get the drive shaft back in, as far as I know. So he is just using the front-wheel drive to drag this big orange Ford around the course, but he's getting plenty of hang time. The good thing is the back doesn't want to wash out on him. The bad thing is he's having to stand on the throttle to get down there quickly. A 28.551 second elapsed time for Bono. Your winner will be Mike Mozzie in Mozzified, the little primer-colored Chevrolet, taking the victory in the mod class. Andrew Hagan taking the victory in the stock. Stay with us. Monster Truck Freestyle is coming your way next from DuQuoin, Illinois. Welcome back to DuQuoin, Illinois. The home state favorite, Brad Shippard, in Against the Grain, rolling out. Awesome machine. Again, I've mentioned it every time we see him, but this was Doug Nolke's big dog. Brad really hasn't changed anything on it for the most part. It's the same truck that Doug sold him, and Brad says if it ain't broke, don't fix it. This truck runs very well. He's been having a little bit of trouble, as I've said, with those rear shocks. Trying to work him out. He was back there working on them between rounds, and it looks like it's doing a little better. The rear end not slapping quite as hard as he works his way over the track to set the pace for all the freestylers behind him in this six-truck field. It will hopefully be a six-truck field. We'll tell you about that in just a moment, but Brad ready to show he can run with the best of them. One of the more consistent machines in this business. Maybe not a winner every time out, but not afraid of that loud pedal. Definitely not afraid to put this thing on the edge. The big green Ford out of Illinois representing RC Fest. Again, check them out at rcfest.net, reminding you to donate blood. RC Fest out of Tuscola, Illinois. Proud to be on the back of this awesome green machine. Keeping the momentum up. Shippert running a good opening freestyle run. Nice hit right there. Plenty of hang time to be had on this track. Again, an older build showing it can still hang with the big boys of today. Lighter weight truck than a few of the others you see out here. And go ahead and wrap it up with a donut. Brad Shippert showing off in front of the home state folks to open up freestyle. An awesome run for Against the Grain. Probably won't hang in for the #1 spot, but again, really giving him a show to set the pace. Some big air, the donuts, some nice sky wheelies throughout. There's some heavy hitters coming in behind him, though, including this guy, Daniel Donnelly, out of Scotch Plains, New Jersey, at the wheel of the Snyder family's Warp Motorsports Toxic 2014 Ford Super Duty with the 540 cubic inch Kevin Stauffer built Chevrolet power plant in the back. Donnelly going to try to raise the bar on Brad Shippert right now. So it's kind of feeling his way around this. Oh, hang on to it, getting up on two wheels. So there's a little bit of the dirt monster left on this side of the track. And it is usually over here. The guys get bit by it. So this dirt is finally getting broken in. Donnelly feeling good right now after that one. Getting after it a little bit more. As continuing his career as one of the hired guns of the sport. Driven for Mike Vaughters a number of times in a few different machines from Mike. Now at the wheel of this machine. Good friends with the Snyder family. Nice hang time there for Toxic. Warp Motorsports looking good in here this weekend. Took a minute to get it to break loose there. He didn't want to roll their truck over. Is probably the longest into a season in a while. I've seen the yellow hazmat barrels on the back of that awesome livery there. Toxic laying it down. That'll take over the #1 spot here in freestyle. All the PEI trucks running at the beginning of the freestyle order. Again, I keep talking about the heavyweights. They say the lightweight trucks. These PEIs run lighter than some of these new gen trucks, and here's another one of them right here. Formerly Mike Hawkins Equalizer. Rod Schmidt now at the wheel of Redneck Rampage out of Charles City, Iowa. Schmidt tends to be a little more of a technical freestyle. He's got a wild side to him, but definitely a bit of a finesse driver. Likes to see if he can get that thing into a vertical wheel stand and walk it, but not afraid to get the big air. Of course, they won't put you behind the wheel of a gravedigger truck if you're afraid of big air. And Rod certainly is not afraid of really anything on a monster truck track as he chases Daniel Donnelly right now, who is leading the freestyle field. get that walking wheelie up over the race lane there. You can see he started to put one together, but the soil's a little bit loose for that right now. Crossing up the center pond, and looks like he's going to wrap up that freestyle run. And Rod Schmidt, I don't know, is going to go into the lead with that run, but nothing to be ashamed of there. Redneck Rampage looking good here in Monster Truck Freestyle. Nice sky wheelie, some good hang time. See it right there as Daniel Donnelly leads the pack in Toxic. Up next, speaking of Warp Motorsports, here is the team truck, team leader Corey Snyder out of Moco in the Illuminator. Awesome job right there. Haven't seen him do that in some time as he's having fun at the wheel again. He needed that little break that he took from driving these machines. Being on the road all the time definitely takes its toll on you. Showing he can still get the job done in one of the heavier, newer trucks on the circuit. And again, debuted this machine at the tail end of 2020, and having worked a lot of the bugs out of it, it seems like it's finally ready to come along with him for the ride. He's had to fight his way through kind of a learning curve with this truck, and then becoming a two-truck team, now kind of getting used to being behind the wheel of this machine. Doing a nice job here. Getting ready to cross. Well, he does cross thread right there. Didn't even slow down to set it up. Just peeling up the race lanes. Again, a wild wheelie right there. Ripping off a little bit of the light rope, it looks like, on the right side of the tailgate. Nicely done, getting the nose of that truck nice and high in the air, just about vertical. And it looks like he's going to wrap up the run, powering around the inside of the Southern Illinois Center, that 557 cubic inch Chevrolet power plant. The Kevin Stauffer built engines these guys run, always making horsepower, including this one, which is having an issue with the blower this weekend. That blower is a little bit tired, but he's still getting through there as he chips off some slag on those brake rotors. You can see that dropping off. That glow underneath is the brake rotors. They run driveline brakes on these trucks, so you'll see those things start to glow as they work their way around. And we are going right into our final freestyler, Tim Hall Jr., out of the competition in Jurassic Attack. Unfortunately, he blew a motor in that truck, so they're going to have a busy night tonight getting a new power plant put in the back of that machine. Joe Urey, in the meantime, trying to win freestyle without tearing up their second truck. Gotta be creative on a track like this. Find those lines, find those threads that allow you to keep your momentum up and still get the big air. You don't want to get bound up these obstacles. It can happen real quick on a tight track like this. A little more open than many arenas, but there are plenty of places to get yourself bound up. Yuri working the track to perfection. Now looks like going for some two-wheel action here. Gets it on the nose. Back up over the center pod, and it looks like that's going to be all she wrote for Kamikaze. Take a look at that run again. It was a good run. I don't know if it was enough to take over, though. Corey Snyder sitting on top of the field right now as we wait on word as to whether Joe Uri was able to beat him with that run. I don't know if he was. Snyder didn't have that any of the two-wheel action in terms of the stoppies or the moonwalks, but he had some awesome sky wheelies, even ripping up a bit of the beautiful blue body on Illuminator. And no, Kamikaze won't take over. Corey Snyder in Illuminator takes the freestyle victory. So, Tim Hall Jr. last night took the two-wheel skills competition and the freestyle victory. Snyder took racing. Tonight, Tim Hall Jr. takes the two-wheel skills. Joe Uri takes racing, and Corey Snyder takes freestyle. We'll have one more to go from here in DuQuoin. We'll see you then.
This Back Channel Productions presentation has been brought to you by Gemini Associates. Whether you live upstairs, downstairs, or anywhere in general, we are here to serve.